Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I am joined by Dylan.
Yeah, that's right.
How are you?
I'm still here.
Oh, were you gone?
I was, yeah.
Okay, well.
As far as any listeners are concerned, we disappear as soon as we stop talking.
I don't. I persist.
There is no permanence here.
Permanence here.
Permanence.
So today we have... I have to get my bearings straight. It's been a hot minute, so give me a second while I collect myself. I started this, and I don't think I was 100% ready.
This is the only series in which I think we could be consistently rusty. Because it always feels like it's been a while since we recorded.
Yeah. With this one, it as of recently, I think it is a mixture of things, but I think it's this podcast specifically has been a little out of the ordinary for us. A little bit because of work and because of things that Mallory and I are doing. It's
become less routine.
It's become a little less routine, and I think it's a lot to do with the stuff I got going on at work and the fact that I am kind of being pulled in a lot of areas, and I don't like that. I don't like that this show has kind of gotten turned into something that I feel is a little
almost like an afterthought.
A little bit, and that's sad because I enjoy this show, and I want
keep this train rolling,
and I want to put more effort and more time into this show, which is why we've actually talked. I don't know if you want to touch on this now. We may touch on this later in the episode, or who knows. But I want to start to allocate more of my time and my effort to this show, and I want to start putting that back into it. I want to start getting ahead again. There's a bunch of things I want to do that are all like behind the scenes that anybody listening to this probably has no idea about,
right? And
that's okay. And I'm just going to be transparent and honest. And it's been a little weird recently, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
it makes me feel uncomfortable.
It's weird,
and
like,
and us recording.
The more I think about it, the more it's like, man, this is just feels out of place.
We've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
We've been doing this since March of 2020, which means it's been 3.5 years. So to be honest, like we've had this show has had waves. This show has
You've killed me.
Nah, hold on. Slow down. This show has had
its ups and downs.
It's had its
bits and bobs.
It has had its moments in our shared history over the past few years of times that were really solid, and we were like putting a lot of time into it, a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
And there's been moments like this where if anybody has been listening to this show long enough, there was a season when I was working 2 jobs, and I was starting the relationship with my now fiance, and that was a lot. Trying to run this show, trying to potentially start up a second show on the side, running 2 jobs, and trying to curate a relationship with someone. I was at my wit's end.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff on your plate. And
so there was a brief chunk of episodes towards the beginning of this show that were personally to me a little bit haphazard, which were some really fun times.
Yeah.
And so the fact
still getting our bearings, it wasn't not even crystallized yet.
Exactly. Which is okay.
Yeah.
But I think this is another one of those times where this isn't going to be the end, but it definitely feels like the next step and evolution and what's going to happen next. And we
about to Darwinize.
Yeah, we about to Darwinize.
I really want to use that in place of evolve.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
hey, yo, I'm about to Darwin.
Oh God.
But to circle back around to that little teaser I just tossed out there a second ago, there is something we've been planning on doing for a long time, but I've had a hard time. I've had a hard thought process of how I wanted to implement it.
Yeah, it's a doozy.
And it is playing through a game and talking about it on the show and how to do that effectively.
Yeah.
I want us to sit down and to allocate time where we can both sit down and play through a game that we enjoy and we can talk about it. And how would we do that? Would that be like an actual playthrough?
Right. My first instinct is to just do like an hour or two recording session of us actually like playing through the game and doing it that way. And maybe we'll mention it on a podcast as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it would feel hard to get into like the nitty-gritty of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just talking about it like as we're playing.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact as soon as we get a game up and running, we're going to fall into that the pit of game sense.
Yeah.
Where we'll be so focused on something that we just won't talk.
Yes.
And
exactly. And so we have behind the scenes discussed this once or twice about the idea of this, and more recently I've thought about it. There are games that do a great job of like separating into chapters. And I was like, how cool would it be if we did like chapters 1 and 2 of a game and sit down? Yeah, oh gosh, that's a doozy. Is to sit down and like talk through that, and then share our thoughts and experiences on it, and just like really go through a whole game that we haven't had a chance to play. And the reason why I was saying that is because in our personal lives we're adults and we have jobs, and that is a thing that happens.
Shite.
Oh, but there's one thing that I have been doing in our lives, and Mallory, myself, and with you, and even Ethan, longtime person of the show, who
by the way is in the other room as we speak.
You may hear him shouting around with Chase,
playing through Quathrin.
The planets have aligned, and they're both here.
Yeah, it's very surprising. I'm happy to have them.
Exactly. But the point that I'm making is that I have been intentional about scheduling out time with friends because it's
gotten to that point where the only way to properly hang out with like for example, Dominic asked what I was doing like this Saturday.
Yeah,
because it's like one of my few off days that I have.
Right.
He's gonna come over and we're gonna play some fucking Halo.
Hell yeah!
Haven't finished 2 yet. Got to get that under our belts.
I love that. But yeah, and so
I had to schedule that shit.
Oh, exactly. and it sounds. I mean,
it used to be like, hey, yeah, just come over whenever.
Right.
And it'd be like, okay, so I need to have you scheduled for next week and the week after, just in case this week doesn't work out. Okay.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean,
it sucks, but
it shouldn't be this complicated.
It should. And again, normally with just one friend or a small friend group, that probably can work out, especially if you all work at possibly the same place or very similar places where you can like align your calendars the right way.
Right.
But we have I wouldn't say a crazy diverse friend group, but we have a pretty different friend group of people that work office hours, who have off like nights and weekends. We have some people that work like yourself, who work like shift work, where it's like the 2 days that are off may rotate throughout the week. Same thing with Chase.
It's randomized.
Exactly, which sucks.
I wish I had dedicated days off.
I totally love having set days off. Not the point. What I'm saying is that we have sat down and we have scheduled out time, so that way like there is something on the calendar that can be consistent, because that is the reality we live in. And if I want to curate friendships with our friend group and I want to like have that's what's got to happen. And so I've been thinking about this a little bit, and when I talked to you about it, about like how can we do some of the things we want to do. Yeah. We have been talking about sitting down.
The main question is just how.
Exactly. And so I was like, it's been hard recently, but I want to get back onto a good rhythm of like allocating time for this show. I used to have a better handle on it, and it's been getting a little rusty. But I have been sitting down and thinking, what are those next steps that I can do? And then I was like, let's Darwinize that
process of elimination.
Let's evolve
survival of the fittest
into the next step. And my idea is that instead of allocating time towards like sitting down and watching a movie for the podcast, what if we could sit down and play through this large repertoire of games that you have?
I have so fucking many.
And I was like, how
I have more games than I have movies.
And that's crazy. That's awesome though.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's slowly working its way up.
And I would love to be able to sit down and like, let's say, I mean, I usually always budget out like 2 to 3 hours for like the whole thing.
At the very least.
For like watching a movie a lot of times, which could be 2 hours, and then recording like an hour-long podcast. So that right there can be, a big chunk of time. And I was like, what if we budgeted out, 2 hours for a gameplay through of something, and we sit down and talk about it for a podcast or something. I don't know how the logistics of it, but
right. See, that's another thing is like how we want to split it up time wise. Are we just going to put the whole damn thing out there, or do we want to divvy it up into like little snippets?
There's still some things we're trying to work out. So let us know what you think. I know this isn't a video form factor podcast. That never really was the goal of this. Maybe one day it could be, but for right now, that's not the goal that I have for the podcast itself. But I do want to talk about things. This show has been the aftermath of things that we enjoy doing or seeing or watching or playing. That has been this show.
It's what it is.
And I want to do more of that. And so that's why I'm having this conversation now, because it is something I've been thinking about a lot recently about like what more could I do?
Just consideration of like a separate branch as far as gameplay goes, because we do have like a capture card, don't we?
We do. Yeah.
Okay. I know we tried it like a few times with some of the other consoles. I can't remember I know the PS4 was fine.
PS2 worked, PS4 worked, the 3 was not.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anybody that knows anything about consoles, the PS3 came out during a time of like where capture cards, where like recording gameplay was starting to become a thing. So they like put a hard lock on it. There's ways to around it, but like you really gotta like
jump some the nuh-uh filter.
Yeah, it's got a hard nuh-uh filter. Right. Whereas the PS2, that wasn't a thing yet, and PS4 was more lenient. But
we had looked up some sort of workaround for it. I can't remember how we did it. If we did it,
we did. It was basically, it was like
it
was basically we had the HDMI out of the PS3 into an RCA converter, the red, yellow, white converter, and then I plugged that. Or no, I don't even remember anymore.
Right, it was some sort of Yamaha counter
No,
device.
you know what it was? It was even worse than that.
What?
There was a way on the PS3 that you can use the PS2 adapter.
Which
was
you're
RCA.
right.
So we had to go into the menus and default the main display output to that
the
RCA output, and then
whole different format.
And then what I did was that we converted it from RCA to HDMI back to HDMI into the capture card.
Triple filter.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, when I say it was crunchy,
we got that shit distilled.
Oh, I wasn't distilled. It definitely was pixelated. Distilled makes it feel like it was refined, and it was definitely rough.
It was as refined as it could have gotten.
You're right. We downscaled it just to try and upscale it again. It did not.
We made our own back door.
Yeah. But anyways, that is all the...
Right, this is just the prelude.
This is all the prelude. This is all
Here's a little preview of what we got.
This is all the housekeeping.
Coming down the pipeline.
This is all the housekeeping. This is the next installment in Gundam Unicorn, as you have seen from the title of this episode. We have been slowly but surely tiptoeing our way through the 7 episodes of Gundam Unicorn. And
we may be audibly rusty, but I'll tell you what isn't rusty. That beauteous psycho frame on the Unicorn. God damn. Yeah.
This was episode 4.
At the bottom of the gravity well.
At the bottom of the gravity well.
This is my favorite episode.
Yes.
By far and away.
This was a very pivotal episode. Obviously, we're tiptoeing into halfway through this series, and there has been a lot of things that have happened. We've talked about a lot in the previous episodes to lead us up to this one. But right at the tip top, we get like a little. This is one of those episodes where, like in a movie, where like calamity is happening, and you're like, holy shit, there's a lot going on at the top of this episode, and then like it's like a flashback, and then it tells the story that leads up to it, that kind of thing. So there's like this big ass robot, and it's like shooting lasers and shit everywhere, and you're like, holy shit, there's so much happening. The unicorn's out there, and there's like some stuff happening, and all of a sudden it's like, sometime before all that, and you're like, okay, cool. So now we get like
they start off with the Zeon remnant attack on Dakar, which is like the capital city of the Federation on Earth, and the Shamblo, which is this gigantic mobile armor. Probably one of my favorites if I had to pick one.
Yeah.
Other than the Neo Zeong.
Have you? If I could stop you right there for just 1 second.
You can't. I'm going.
Okay. Go ahead. Please go ahead. I do apologize. No. Do you? I don't know if you've ever played Sonic Adventures DX.
I have.
Do you know at the very end, Chaos?
Yeah.
Like the weird, like kind of like
the fucking
tentacle,
water monster.
Yeah, the water monster thing. For if any of you do not know about this game, it was like I think it was a GameCube game. Hold on. It was like a.
No.
It was like a.
Oh
game.
My god.
Hold on, wait. It was like it's like a GameCube game. I think it was on the PC for a while. I'm pretty sure you can get it on Steam right now. Yeah. It's called Sonic Adventures DX. It was like whenever like 3D rendering stuff was still kind of a new thing. So like it's a little dated now.
Right.
But like it was a pretty fun game.
It was fun.
All things considered.
That's probably like my favorite in the series, aside from like the OG Sonic platformers.
There was a like a main antagonist in the game, and his name was Chaos. Or they used to in the Sonic universe they call it like Chow, I think. So I'm not sure if it's a different name, but it's spelled Chaos.
Right.
And during the game, he's like a normal. He's like the same size as Sonic, but he's like he looks like a water alien
some sort of
creature,
water
golem guy with like a brain in the inside with like glowing green eyes. You can look
some clothes on.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's water, so I'm not gonna worry.
That doesn't make him any less naked.
I mean, hey, you know what?
I can see his gray matter, dude.
It's all right.
Put on a hat.
I don't need to be seeing all that nonsense.
Right. Shit's gross.
Anyways, if you care about this 25-year-old game.
Oh my god, is it really that old?
To be honest,
holy shit.
Let me see. When did this game come out?
Please tell me. Please tell me.
Hold on, let me see. Wait.
Oh no.
Hold on. I don't even know. Where the hell is this game at?
Where's the release date?
I want to say it came out.
I
know. Hold on. I think I have it right here. This game, the original release on the GameCube was in 2003, so 20 years ago. Okay. Hey, sorry. I was close. 20 years, fine. Anyways, what I was saying was, at the very end, our main antagonist, who's a little water boy,
right? He acquires all of the Chaos Emeralds.
Yes, which is a big thing in that whole franchise. The culmination of the whole point that I'm saying all this for is that he has this final form where there's
turns into a fucking kaiju.
He turns into a big monster, and he's like this kind of like large. It looks like it's almost like a water serpent, where he's got like this long like neck that has like this kind of like alligator shaped head now, and he looks all big, but he's like these two like kind of like tentacle things or whatever that are they're like tendrils or whatever. And the reason why I was saying all that is because I remember this creature as being a really big, he was the final boss, and it's like, oh shit. Well, whenever we see this robot has a very wide base. What is it called again?
Mobile armor.
The Shamblo. Okay, so this thing is called the Shamblo, and it has this this wide base, and it has this kind of almost neck head
It's
unit
got these
thing.
Big ass wings.
Right.
Little arms that fold out.
Yeah, the head kind of opens up in a way where these side pieces open up, the jaw opens up basically, and there's this absolutely massive cannon.
Yeah, a fucking hyper mega cannon.
Yeah,
stuffed in there. I'd compare it to Metal Gear Ray.
Yes,
with the way the head is structured.
Right. But it has, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a one-to-one reference, but the first time I remember seeing this, is that
fucking chaos?
Is that the chaos? Is that a Robo Chaos?
Oh my god.
But it is this, it is a interesting, it is a mobile armor. For those of you who may not know, that just
means
nothing
to fuck with.
It's a mobile suit, but it is the toppest tier.
Gigantic.
So just imagine just the biggest version of a mobile suit, and then that is usually what a mobile armor is. It's just all the... And of course, has to come with just these absolutely massive, weapons and
big
shit.
Fuck ass cannons.
Yeah. These I hate you in particular cannons.
Right. City destroyer.
Yeah, for real. It opens up.
It absolutely demolishes entire swaths
Yeah.
of a city in the beginning.
Yeah.
It takes out like the Capitol building of Dakar and then just shoves off like it ain't no big deal. And that's when we shift over to Zinnerman, currently cleaning up after the little the incident.
This robot has real Godzilla energy.
Mm-hmm.
Where it just, the second that it blows its cannon or its fire in a single direction and it just like travels upwards, everything in that area is just melted.
Oh, yeah.
Gone.
Obliterated.
Yeah. So, anyways.
It's beauteous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, after last episode's debacle, Banagher accidentally killed Mr. Gilboa, and the unicorn subsequently shut down.
Yeah.
And was just falling towards the earth. After which Zinnerman made the daring and insane move to perform a re-entry landing with the unicorn latched onto the hull.
Oh, yeah.
Which, considering the ship is now half buried in the desert, did not go very well.
Oh, right.
But that, in turn, motivates them to make a trek across the desert in, I believe it was 4 days?
I think so.
Yeah. To get help from other Zeon hideouts to help unbury their ship.
And Banagher at this point is having a real Shinji Ikari moment.
Yeah, a real crisis of being.
The second I saw his demeanor and his character and how he was acting, I was like,
this motherfucker just shut down.
No. I was like, how come I've seen this?
Why is this familiar?
This behavior seems awfully familiar.
Sulking child.
And I was like, oh, I think I know why, because just recently we went through all 4 of the Evangelion movies.
Right.
Where Shinji
motherfucker got that Shinji phenotype.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there is a quarter of that movie where a quarter of that franchise where Shinji just slumped over and is like, I don't want to do it.
This place sucks.
Right. I'm being hard on him.
I wish my mom was dead and a giant robot monster.
My dad wasn't a jackass. I wish my dad actually cared about me.
I wish my dad wasn't fucking insane.
I wish my dad was present, not a freaking psycho lunatic.
Most of his problems are beginning with the phrase, I wish my dad wasn't.
Oh, yeah. ...
Or I wish I could.
Yeah. Or I wish people didn't hate me as much.
Right.
I feel like people just hate him for no reason. I mean, sometimes he gives them reason.
He gives plenty of reasons.
Yeah, eventually. But I feel like even before then, people hated him. I'm like, damn, chill out.
Right.
He gets real jaded afterwards. We don't got to get into that. Anyways, what I'm saying is that
it's a completely different can.
As you can tell, I'm sorry. That is a soapbox that is easy for me to get on.
Of course.
But anyways, so Banagher is having this moment where, like, again, they're trying to trek through the desert, and he's having this whole crisis of of self because he unintentionally killed a man.
Yeah, made a mistake.
Which, he's a young guy, and, he's being forced into war. So the fact that you probably have a bit of trauma for killing an innocent man is not surprising in a more literal application, like a real world application.
It's one thing if it's somebody you didn't know and had never met, like the first guy he killed. Right. But he knew this motherfucker. Yeah. He met his family. They took care of him for a little bit.
It's a little different.
Yeah. So... Yeah, it's going to take for a bit. Yeah. But during their trek, Zinnerman is able to help convince him that it's not all bad. Yeah. You've got a chance to make things right. It doesn't end here.
And I told you this whenever we got finished watching it initially, that this is another prime example of the effectiveness of how Gundam tells the kind of the moral dilemma of things, or the sides, the quote good guy, bad guy side.
Yes. The gray area.
Yeah, the gray area is that technically Banagher's kind of been with the Earth Federation. That's kind of where he's from. That's who he's kind of sort of sided with, in a way. But Zinnerman is with the Neo Zeon. And so we get to see this, even though I wouldn't say he's technically a prisoner, I guess, but
he's for all intents and purposes a a hostage.
A hostage in a way, but he's not treated like a hostage would be.
Right. They still know he's useful and that he's the key to the box. So
exactly.
They treat him with enough respect and dignity, even after what he did.
Yes.
One of the pilots for the ship is very upset.
Justifiably.
Mm-hmm. And he lays into him.
Yeah.
But
he has some really good moments with Zinnerman, where like Zinnerman,
their interactions in this episode are easily my favorite.
Oh yeah,
in this whole series,
very good. Because again, on paper they are quote unquote enemies on as far as like sides of the coin, but like
as people, they're reasonable enough and they can get along. But whenever the war comes into it, that's when that's when they start to disagree because Zinnerman is a hardcore.
Yes.
Zeon holdover. I'm talking like OG principality motherfucker.
Yeah.
And
he's paid his dues.
Yes. And he's looking to collect.
Exactly.
And as soon as they start moving into Torrington, which was the next set of coordinates that the Laplace program revealed.
Right.
Banagher's like, hey yo, you don't need to be fucking them up this bad. Why don't you just let me go out there and I can get the next set of coordinates.
Right.
And he's like, nah, just wait till we're finished mopping up. And he's like, mopping up?
Bitch, what?
This is a fucking slaughter. What are you talking about?
This is my home. Right. Or, the planet is.
Yeah, this is needless.
Exactly.
So
and there's a lot of references. Even at the very beginning, there's a reference to the what's it called? The what are they called in space? Help me out here.
The space colonies,
the colonies. There is in like a dream and a flashback at the beginning of this episode. We get that classic horrific colony drop on Australia as it just
he's having a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. So like we get all these references as well, which I think is really cool to kind of help paint that troubled past of Zeon. Yeah. And then of course you got, our guy Zinnerman here who's like, yeah, whatever. And
my
it's like
hometown was burned to the ground. My family slaughtered
by
a bunch of fetties who were just letting off some steam.
Yep.
Just because we were Zeon.
Mm-hmm.
So he's understandably upset and has that grudge.
Right. But then again, like I said at the very beginning, we get that
don't make it right.
I mean, it don't make it right. But then at the same time, it's also like, but you guys are also the people that kill the whole country just because you want to prove a point. And it's like, anyways, that's one of those things where, like, again, neither one of them are right. Both of them have made some terrible decisions, and it's
just that same vicious cycle.
It's just the same vicious cycle.
Violence begets violence.
Exactly. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind.
Mm-hmm. So Banagher has to talk/beat some sense into
it's so good.
As soon as because he like is just trying to like talk him down, like, let me go.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, we're in for a penny, in for a pound. They're getting what's coming to them. So they're duking it out in the bridge of the ship while the attack on Torrington is happening.
Yes. And
which is my favorite battle in this whole series.
There's a lot of things to be excited about.
It's so fucking cool.
So cool.
As soon as the news starts spreading around about this operation, everybody, all the warriors, are digging up their old suits from inside old castles, from under the like docks of this seaside village.
You got that one special gun tucked away. Go ahead and pull it off and polish it up.
Saving this for a special occasion. And this is reliable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, whenever freaking Godzilla shows up and starts, wrecking shit, may as well be like, I'm gonna do my part.
Let me in on this.
Yeah. I'm not saying I wish for this, but I'm ready for this.
Right. Yeah. This is just the opportunity these motherfuckers have been waiting for.
Oh yeah.
So they start mobilizing, and it's on.
Yeah.
Torrington comes under attack by a shit ton of Zeon remnants from seemingly all sides.
Right.
We got motherfucking Zagaks, fucking Kapuls coming out of the water.
Yeah.
Tearing up GMs. And these fucking Z Zulus, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I love these things.
They're really cool.
Like, I already like the Gira Zulu. Like the upgrade from the Gira Doga from Char's counterattack.
Yeah.
But the Z Zulu is like the aquatic version of it.
Super cool.
Comes with these fucking blades on the forearm.
Yeah.
It holds one of the knives to like make it into a straight up claw hand.
Yeah.
And of course, they're like the superheated blades, so they just cut through these mobile suits like hot knives through butter.
Super cool.
It's the best.
What is the one with like the boomerang shoulders?
The Zogok.
The Zogok. That's a cool.
I love that thing.
That is a cool one.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a chance to look that one up, do it. It's really cool. It's all red, and it's got this big, like, Mike Wazowski looking eye on it, but it's super.
It doesn't
badass.
have a head.
Yeah. It's just all body with this huge eye on it.
Yeah,
and it's got these super cool. Like, I just thought it was like decorative fins or
no.
whatever, but then like he starts
weaponry.
It starts shooting.
Motherfucker rolled up with a fucking heat sword and a Sturmfaust.
I love it.
And then just started tearing shit up.
Yeah.
And for a while, they make it into the base, start wrecking things.
Right.
But as soon as the Rock Island shows up with Bright and Londo Bell,
gosh, so cool.
he gets the Black Tri-Stars out there, the new Black Tri-Stars.
Yeah.
3 Jestas.
Super cool.
Lovely little special ops mobile suits.
The Jestas feel like ODSTs in a way, and I love that.
Oh, yeah.
It's super cool. Super fun.
So as soon as they get close enough, they start turning the tide.
Yeah.
But lest we forget the true hero of this engagement, the random-ass motherfucker who decided to take a soon-to-be decommissioned and deconstructed Bjarlant custom out of the hangar and just starts destroying everybody.
Dude,
that's already in the base.
I love that
I don't know
suit.
who this guy is.
Do we not get to see who it is?
No.
Damn.
No, we're left to assume that while one of the Zaku Mariners is like just shoving rockets in one of these hangar bays, like you see the thing fire off a few rounds, the inside of the hangar like explodes, and he turns to start walking, but then he gets nailed like in the calf by a shit ton of beam shots.
Yeah.
And he explodes, of course. And the next thing you see is like the cop will like turns around like, what the fuck just happened? And then you see this Bjarlant custom launch itself out of the roof of this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just taking them out left and right. Because everything that the Xeon remnants are attacking with is comparatively ancient to anything the Federation is putting out right now. So, the Bjarlant is also an older model. That's straight from Zeta.
That's crazy.
Like, you can even tell because, like, most of these older suits have a beam coating applied to them just so they're not completely obliterated right off the bat.
Right.
And you can see shots bouncing off. So it's relatively even, but he's still doing just enough damage.
Yeah.
He's outmaneuvering everybody. He's just taking them out left and right.
He's like flying quick.
Oh,
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm. He's got like extra fuselages bolted onto the damn thing. It's got like all the maneuverability it could ask for.
You said the Bjarlant is from Zeta or Double Zeta?
Zeta.
Nice.
It's the suit that Jared got stuck with at the tail end of the series.
Interesting.
And I like the base model well enough. Like it's
I have a
good looking suit.
I got like a little comparison number here looking at. It's not bad, but the custom is cool looking.
My god, it is gorgeous. I have a model of this thing just tucked away somewhere. I really want to get it out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, like, I suppose we should also mention that there is Lonnie, who is the pilot of the Shamblo, and her only remaining family member, Kirks, who is piloting a Zaku 1 sniper.
Mm-hmm.
A Zaku 1.
Yeah, that's like I saw that, I was like, damn, that's not classic.
That is the OG. But
when did we see, was it Thunderbolt that we saw like units like that?
Yes.
Or like the sniper units? Was there another reference where they had like the ship with the sniper unit in it? Or was it, am I just thinking of Thunderbolt? I thought there was another one like that, where there's like this unit inside of a ship that's like being piloted around.
As far as I know, the only comparable situation I remember, at least from Thunderbolt, was with the Spartan, where all the mobile suits are just on the deck.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm thinking about. I thought there was I could just be thinking of Unicorn from the first time I watched it long ago.
Yeah, probably.
But I could have swore there was like another situation like that, where there was like a ship with like the open bay door with like a sniper like shooting, units from above. But I could be tripping. Anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, super cool. He's just like hovering around. And of course, he's like picking off dudes with this like massive, long ass rifle.
He survives that whole engagement.
Crazy.
Miraculous. But after that, they slowly are getting like picked off one by one.
Right.
And then it's just the Shamblo left. Kirks is taken out by the Tri-Stars after a near successful suicide attempt.
Yeah.
To take out his reactor.
Crazy.
Doesn't go through, of course, but after that, actually, sorry. During that, Banagher has been let loose from the ship by Zinnerman after he got his fucking face kicked in.
Yeah. And he's just sitting there all glum with like a rag against his face. I love the fact that whole altercation was able to happen, and like Zinnerman even like asks for assistance, and like the rest of his crew's like, I'm not getting involved. You can handle it.
Like, my hands are full, bro. I'm flying the ship.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Even if my hands were free, I ain't doing well. Yeah, you can handle that on your own. It's just your fight.
Right. So he's able to talk him down, bring him around, and he goes to stop Lonnie.
Yeah.
From causing any more damage than she has already.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker, he fires his beam magnum into the ground in order to stop her from moving, or at least slow her down a bit so that he can talk her.
Right.
Like persuade her not to go through with this. And he just steps in front of her and is like, hey, stop.
Yeah, stop.
Cut it out. You're about to kill a lot of people. You have killed a lot of people that didn't need to die today. You could do better than this. And of course, her family was killed by the Federation.
Yeah.
So she's already got that grudge like deep seated. Like it's gonna take some serious talking to and convincing for her to stop.
Yeah.
So he goes at her with like, you gotta live for something more than just hatred and violence. I mean, that's fucking sad, all right?
Yeah.
And she's like, that's all I fucking got, all right? I'm carrying out I'm the will of my parents.
Right.
And he's like, you do not have to live for your parents. You can live, you find your own purpose to live.
Right.
And it's a heated back and forth. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
And he's almost got her. Like, he actually steps out of the cockpit. Like, it's open. He's vulnerable. And that's what gets her to stop and, like, consider her actions.
Yeah.
Starts to break down a bit. Realize, like, this is all I have. What else am I supposed to do? And he's like, find something.
It is a real, like, talking a person down from the edge moment where it's really great. He's, like you said, he steps out. He, like, extends the olive branch of, like, hey, like, you don't got to do this.
Right.
Because, like, he even met her before. Like, all that stuff happened. So it's like they know each other to a degree. So he's like, hey, like,
I believe in you.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe you can be better than this.
Hate and death is not going to fix everything.
It ain't the way.
It ain't the way. And of course, that's really stepping up. Before we continue onto this next chapter of what's going to happen there, I do want to touch a little bit on what happened with Rita.
Oh God, yeah.
And Minerva. And the end of this previous episode, Ensign Rita was trying to bring Minerva back to Earth to like hide her out at his folks' place, at his like his
get
family.
her in touch with the Federation government so that they can stop this.
They can start working together or working towards that next step.
Right.
And yeah, it didn't go that way.
No.
Of course, it can't be butterflies and rainbows.
Of course not.
Nah.
As soon as Ensign Riddy sits down, has a little chat with his father.
Yeah.
His dad is in touch with Martha of the Vist Foundation.
Great.
And he's like all like in cahoots.
He's really cahooting.
Right.
And conniving.
So he decides to give his son the talk.
Yeah, oh God.
About how their family has remained in such good standing for so long.
Right.
And he lets him know that they've basically been a front and or mirror image for the Vist Foundation.
Great.
They've worked in tandem with them for the past few decades to keep the box under their control. And
he didn't know that.
No, he had no idea.
And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna just you know how you brought Banagher here to not be a bargaining chip anymore, and you're gonna try and keep her safe. Actually, what we're gonna do is I'm actually going to use her. Hear me out. As a bargaining chip,
right?
And he's like, no.
I'd rather die.
That's actually exactly not the plan that I had in mind.
What the fuck do you think I'm here for?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, he runs off upon horseback.
Oh, yeah.
And just secludes himself in the woods.
Into the night. Cries.
Right.
Screams.
Yeah.
For he knows not what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because like he's like laying down in the grass, like all hurt, whatever, and his horse walks up and like pushes him, and I was like, "Yo, dude, get up, we gotta go."
Yeah, I'm hungry, dude.
Hey, come on.
I can't stay out here forever.
You led me to water. I drank. Now let's go.
I'm domesticated.
Yeah, I'm domesticated, bitch.
Right.
But the reason why I brought this up, and not only because it is pretty pivotal to what happens next in this Banagher Lonnie situation, but like we get to. So far, I remember liking Ensign Rita for a while, but I remember there being something.
He starts off great.
He starts off great.
He's a real stand-up dude.
But I remember there being something that, like, I remember towards the end not liking him as much and not remembering why.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this is that pivotal.
The beginning.
This is the beginning. This is that pivotal switch that I think I forgot about in the first watch through of this series.
Yeah.
Because this is where.
His downward spiral.
This is where the chip on his shoulder really starts to form, and so he begs and pleads to Banagher to be like, forgive me, please. Like runs over there and hugs her.
I brought you to the worst possible place.
Right, and that's like, hey, dude, you no harm, no foul.
You didn't know.
You didn't know.
I can't blame you.
Exactly. You came here and to protect me, and you led me straight into the pit of vipers, and that's okay. You know. But like and he like runs over there and like hugs her, and she's like, what are you doing?
Right, get the fuck off me, bro.
I kind of got to deal with Banagher already. I don't need you like I don't need you making this any worse.
Right.
But he's like, like, please just come with me and I'll protect you and saying all this stuff. And I was like, if you're just gonna ask her to marry you, just say it already.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he ends up
being transferred to the Rock Island,
right,
under Bright's command.
Oh man, and I love that Bright. I love that Bright shows up. He's such a badass.
Oh yeah, dude. He's one of the best characters.
His showing up in this series meant so much more. I mean, for the very obvious reason of I had no idea who he was when he first showed up.
Right.
But now that I know his very decorated and troubled past, whenever he shows up, and of course everyone's like, and his like whoever he's working with is like, I'm gonna have you in charge of XYZ. We're gonna do all this, and he's like, I don't think I need to do all that. And he's like, no. You have a very decorated history, and I think that you're worthy. And he's
the best man for the job,
right? And he's humble, and he's like, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I think
just had a very colorful and storied career.
Exactly, and it's like, you know what?
Unorthodox would be another word.
I would use that one too. And I love that. I love that he's not a man to brag, but like he's got it.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, Rita gets swapped out over to his section or whatever.
Starts partaking in the cleanup of Torrington.
Right.
After which he makes his way to the standoff.
Yep.
Between Banagher and Lonnie. Now, as soon as he is almost got her, like the Shamblo has stopped and is in the process of deactivating its like psychomu system and everything, and then Kirks fucking dies. And she feels it.
Yep.
Rudy's just been sitting on the sidelines like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
What's happening? Because again, Banagher is trying to talk her off the edge and trying to get things to work, and all of a sudden she senses through her new type Spidey sense that he's died, and she's like, "That's the only family I had left."
The final straw.
The final straw.
Mm-hmm.
And she has had it, and it's like, well, and she just regresses, which that's very natural. That is something that would happen in a situation like that.
Yeah,
regresses back in, doors close, and Rita's like, Banagher, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like yelling. He's like,
we got to put her down, bro.
Yeah.
There ain't no coming back from there.
And of course, and he
is doing everything he can
because he's
to kill her.
I don't blame him. He is optimistic. He's like, bro,
he's had a moral awakening.
He knows
what he wants to do
with
his abilities and with this mobile suit.
Yes, he's gonna try his best to save what he can, and that's good. Again, I think that Banagher in this moment is doing what is right.
Yes,
and I think that he is trying his best because I think he saw that she's like letting off the rope, and he's like, I know I can get to her. I know I can get to her.
Yeah. Just let me talk to her.
Let me talk to her, man. And so, but again, it's closed off, and the cannon is about to fire again and start destroying more innocent lives and more shit and all that kind of stuff.
And you know what the worst part is?
What's that?
The ghost of Kirks comes up on her as she's like just going nuts and says, "Our war's over, dude. You gotta let go." And it works. After that, she's broken and busted, man.
Right.
The suit starts deactivating or like going haywire.
Right.
And Banagher is now riding on top of the Delta Plus with Riddy. And he's lining up the shot like, dude, you got to shoot her. You got to stop her right now or more people are going to die.
Right. But Banagher's having that moral...
Right. He can't do it. He can't.
He's like, I just can't pull the trigger.
It's right down to the wire. And as soon as he gives up, the little eye field projector drones turn around, like they move in front, like she moves them in front of the Shamblo, so that it stops the beam, like from hitting anything.
Yeah,
and Riddy, bless his heart, he grabs the beam magnum from the unicorn and just shoots her anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's
the part, and that is the part that hurts the most, is to know that she was at that precipice of regressing, but really about to just fully step down from that emotional heartbreak.
Yeah,
that was then cooled down by the very person that died, and then to just get killed anyways. It's like,
it's the worst.
It feels like there's already so much needless death, and now there's just another one that happens, and man, it hurts. And I forgot that this happened specifically.
Yeah.
And watching it last night, and then, that is basically the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And just to be sat there like, God, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Oof. It's a hard oof moment.
As soon as they land, Bright has put out like a capture order for the Gundam.
Yeah.
And Riddy's like, you gotta get out of the thing. Come with me, man. I'm sorry. And then out of nowhere, we get the reveal of the Banshee.
Yeah. The black unicorn.
Yes. Now, that's something we didn't touch on.
Yeah.
Was what they did to Marita in this episode.
Oh, you're right. We did not.
After Alberto got a hold of her and took her away to the Vista Foundation.
Yeah.
She was subsequently reconditioned and made to pilot the Banshee.
Yeah.
Now, that's something we're going to get in on the next episode.
Yeah. Whenever we say reconditioned, there's a lot that goes into that.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get there eventually. Yeah. At the very end of this episode, the real... I mean, I get that Ensign Rita is acting off of probably orders, but he then holds the unicorn at gunpoint basically, and is like, you're under
Get
arrest.
out of there right now.
And it's like, buddy,
like he was close.
Yeah.
Like whenever he waited to see what would happen with Banagher, he was like on the fence. He was doing great. He just had to wait, but it just
And this
it just didn't work out.
And this, I feel like,
he's done. He's done with possibility for now. Yep.
And this is the beginning of the end. I think with Ensign, really, where it's I feel too confident.
Tough times ahead.
Yeah. Because I remember there's some select things that happen in later episodes that make me really.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it makes me really not like
motherfucker.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, I'm excited for the future episodes. This is we're past the halfway mark, so we got 3 more left until we're at the conclusion of this.
Won't be long now.
I'm excited. This has been so much fun to go back through this show and talk about it.
It's so good.
Yeah. Recently we've been kind of flip-flopping back and forth between these episodes and also movies and stuff. And I remember the previous episode was on Tales from Earthsea, and I went to Barnes and Noble and was like looking around online for the books, and I found out there's like a whole it's like 6 to 9 book
it's a whole
sequel of them, or like franchise
whole
of them.
Anthology.
Didn't know that, and so I was like, I'm looking into possibly getting those books now, and having a little collection started.
Dude, let me know when you do, because I really do want to read through those.
Yeah, they have them in smaller form factors, but they got a really big one that's got all of them in it, and it's in a really nice big hard covered book, like a little collector set.
Right,
and it's not super expensive, and I thought about getting that one.
That sounds good.
So, but it didn't have it in the bookstore, and I had to get it online. Which, I mean, that makes sense. But I was looking to see if they had it. But all the ones they have are like little small paperback ones, and I don't mind those, but like they were like a little too small for me.
Yeah,
and they I think also looked a little,
wonky,
pre-loved.
Oh,
so they weren't like used, but they definitely were like they've been there for a while, I think, and they were. So, anyways,
all in good time.
Exactly. So I was like, I may get those. But anyways, I was just thinking about that. I remember like the last conversation we had. That was a big thing I was thinking about, and I so love that movie. If you have the chance, go ahead and listen to that previous episode. That was I love that movie very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about the future stuff for this show. I want to try and get. I mean, we got Ethan and Chase here right now.
Oh yeah,
I know it's getting late, but I want to know if they're available tomorrow.
It's already time o'clock.
I know it's already around the time we record this show. For those of you who do or don't know what time that is,
right? You'll never know.
You'll never know. Partially because in the past 2 weeks it's been very random.
Yeah, fucking hectic.
Oh man, dude! Last night we were both tired.
Yeah,
we finished. Oh, I guess I just spoiled what happened. We didn't actually.
They don't know.
We're not recording this. They don't know nothing.
Yeah. Shut up.
We finished watching the episode and we were both like, "Damn, I'm whooped."
Yeah. Whooped.
I'm whooped. Anyways, what I'm saying all this is I want to get specifically Ethan back on this goddamn show. It's been too long.
Yeah.
And then trying to get Chase here as well if he's available. But I want to see
many a Western we can watch with that boy.
Oh, yes. I want to know if they're available tomorrow, at least for a wee bit, because I would like to watch something with them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We shall see.
Is there anything else you want to touch on? What else you been doing?
Man.
Risk of Rain 2?
Yes.
Been playing some of that?
I've been getting back into that.
Yeah.
Got some new mods installed. A couple of new characters unlocked. I need to get the re-release of the first one that they put out.
I think it's on discount.
That's
cool.
Yeah. So that'll be nice. As far as everything else, I mean, it's pretty much just the same stuff I've been looking forward to.
Yeah.
Which is getting ever closer.
Yeah.
Let me see something real quick.
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising is coming out, I think, near December, and we're all kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun game.
I believe that's going to be out sooner than Relink for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
God damn, dude. I wish it was February already.
It's
killing me.
For me, that would be nice with work. A lot of stuff happens in December, and I'm already tired.
Yeah.
But I tell you what. It is November, and for our neck of the woods, the Renaissance Festival comes around, and I walked a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Normally I try to shoot for like 5 to like 8,000 steps or whatever.
Right.
Boom, 14,000. I crushed my like walking record or whatever.
Nice.
But I got a whole new like fit that I usually like to dress up for the Renaissance Festival. I think it's fun. Yeah. It's something I enjoy doing. And you and me took a picture, and I love that picture a lot.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I was really happy that we took that one, and in my whole, I kind of want to get like a farther away, like a wider body shot. Like next time I got
need to do like a traditional portrait.
As I'm saying, yeah, like a full body of it, so I can get like the whole drip action, because I think it's really cool. But I do like
a really nice chair.
Oh yeah,
a dog.
Yeah,
we'll get you a scepter.
Hell yeah. I love it. But yeah, so I'm excited that like in all the weekends in November, the Renaissance Festival is around. And I want to try and go at least 2 more times before the season's over.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance, because of the fact that everything's been going on, I haven't had a chance to play any games. But I have been extremely lacking in the department of watching Star Wars stuff.
Oh, God.
Because there's been a lot that has released, and a lot of it I haven't had a chance to catch up on. So I was like, okay, I know for a fact I got to watch Season 3 of The Mandalorian. I would like to start watching Ahsoka, because I heard that's pretty good. There's some of the shows I heard that were not good, but I remember I only heard very briefly that Andor was really good from a few sources that I trusted.
Unanimously, I believe, from what I've heard, Andor has been like one of the most well-received.
Yes. The first season of The Mandalorian, and even parts of the second season, were like this new wave of Star Wars, where it felt new, all that new technology, that whole like screen background thing that they're able to like to have all these like real lifelike backgrounds on sets and stuff, like that whole new wave of technology at Industrial Light and Magic and stuff. This is that, but even like one step farther as well,
but
more, but better. And so I decided that like it's been so long, and it's been well overdue, and I started watching Andor, and I'm only like 4 episodes in to like the 12 that there is, or 5 episodes in, I don't know.
Yeah, last I saw, I think you were on 6 or 5.
I think it was on 5, yeah. But dude, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you are an enjoyer of Star Wars, or if you liked Rogue One, Andor has been a great show. It has been so good. One thing that I have talked about on this show before is I like a well-written villain. And I won't get into too much of the details about it, but there is specifically, if we have our protagonist that we're following in this show, there is also like an antagonist that we're following. And obviously, like, you feel like the Empire is the big bad guy, but there's like this little,
as usual.
Yeah, there's like this little side character that has been like, who is kind of like working for the other side, and he has in only the first 5 episodes, like, he has gone through some shit, and I'm really, it's not bad,
right?
Some of it's maybe a little bad, but like, he has gone through some stuff that is very good character development.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
villain.
Exactly. It is good character development, but I'm starting to see like the seeds being planted, where I'm like, I know. But the thing is, it's not. But because he's well written, it's all understandable. We understand where he's come from. We understand what he's going through, and we can see possibly the decisions he's going to make in the future, and the whole time, at least for me, I'm like, you know what? I understand why.
I know exactly.
I know why. I know what's going to happen, and it's going to be pretty good. And so that's the thing, is that like there is this kind of like parallel story being told, and I think it's super cool. And I'm excited to see where this show goes, because it's just super fun, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, because it's also Star Wars, and I haven't had a chance to really get into Star Wars in a while. But I'm also going to try and watch Ahsoka and the next season of Mandalorian. So
sounds like a plan.
Well, on that note,
I think that'll do it.
This felt like a good episode.
I've speaked enough.
I've spoken enough. Anyways, if you're trying to reach out to me, or reach out to us, the show, everyone that's been on this show is very hush, a little secretive. So it's always easier to find me.
It's hard to say reach out to us when you know for a fact we aren't going to.
I'm the only one at all. I'm the only one that will actually respond. Right. You'll shout into the void, and Ian will be the only one to respond.
You may see a flash of Dylan, but I'll never say anything.
You send your queries to me, and then I will then
relay them.
I will do the rites and the rituals to get the rest of the team together to receive them. But anyways, it's at Ian Wolf. You can find me on a lot of the social media platforms. Usually I'm on Instagram or on Threads now, where you can probably reach out and give me some comments or talk to us and give us some suggestions if you have any. You can also just type in The Aftermath on all the major podcasting platforms, and you'll be able to find us that way.
Right.
But until next time, thank you so much for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye.